All right, the moment everybody has been waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, please grab your seats because you are not going to get a chance to get one later. Please take your seats, everybody. Thank you so much. And now we turn to a subject that many of us have taken very seriously. It's cinema. Because cinema has the unique ability to do many things at once. It can make us laugh, it can break our hearts, it can inspire us to fall in love again, and occasionally convince us that running away to a beach or a mountain is actually the correct way to solve the problem. Our next session celebrates a filmmaker whose stories have given us lovers, dreamers, rebels, and beautifully restless souls. The session is titled Jab We Met a Rockstar, uncovering love, rebellion, restless souls in the cinematic universe of The Craftsman. And the craftsman we are talking about is none other than Imtiaz Ali. Ladies and gentlemen. Now, before we go any further, I would like to ask the audience, how many of you have seen Jab We Met Once? Twice? 5 times? We got the answer. Yes, exactly, that's the kind of filmmaker we are talking about. Because Imtiaz Ali has a rare gift. He creates characters who feel so real that they quietly become the part of our lives. And of course, there is Geet. Who doesn't know her favorite dialogue? Anybody? Favorite dialogue? Geet? मैं अपनी favorite हूँ, yes. A character who talked endlessly, missed trains, followed her heart without hesitation, and somehow made us all wish that we had half her confidence. And honestly, in literature festivals, if we had characters like Geet and Jordan, this festival would have been more dramatic and more loud. From Socha Natha to Jab We Met, from the passionate intensity of Rockstar to the haunting beauty of Highway and the introspective journey of Tamasha, his films have explored love, identity, and the search for oneself. Most recently, he directed Amar Singh Chamkila, telling the extraordinary story of the legendary Punjabi folk singer. Mr. Ali continues to push boundaries with the international anthology project My Melbourne, the upcoming Netflix series, O Saathi Re, and a new film releasing in 2026 that reunites him with our famous Diljit Dosanjh for another soulful story of love and longing. Joining her in conversation is Shunali Khullar Shroff, a Mumbai-based writer, author, whose work spans fiction, essay, podcasting, cultural commentary. Oh my God, there's a huge list. Often exploring womanhood, class, identity, and the many delightful absurdities of modern Indian life. She's the author of best-selling novel Love in the Time of Affluenza and Battle Hymn of a Bewildered Mother. Her latest novel, The Wrong Way Home, follows the journey of a divorced woman navigating modern Indian society. Shunali is also the co-host of podcast Not Your Auntie, where nothing is sacred and everything is dissected with irreverent humor. The show recently ranked among the top 100 podcasts in the world and currently is at number 73 globally, right after Oprah. Ladies and gentlemen, I know I will not take much time. You are eager for this conversation to start, so the stage is yours.
Thank you for that really, really lovely introduction. And also, I scribbled some pages about Imtiaz. You've taken care of that. Just going through all the work that Imtiaz has done, it's one thing to watch films passively because everything he's done has been rather memorable. But what I really enjoyed when Amitabh rang me and said, would you like to be in conversation with Imtiaz, was that I thought I'll get a chance officially to watch some of your films again. And I have to say, Jab We Met never ages because, of course, I watched Highway again and I watched Jab We Met and Chamkila, along with a few glimpses of Tamasha because I have brain fog, so I need to revisit these things. But it was a delight to go through them. I mean, I had already seen them a few times. So I have to say that thank you for giving us an entire era. It's been 2 decades now. An entire era of really memorable films that have sort of become timestamps, like cultural timestamps in our memory. So when you say, oh, 2007, what were you doing? And then you'll remember, yeah, there was this film, which is no small achievement. I think we should just start a little bit with how it all happened to you. You were the little boy from Jamshedpur.
First of all, good evening to all of you. It's such a splendid time over here in these mountains. I've never been in a location for a talk which has been so dynamic and so beautiful. I was just admiring the hill, the cliff on that side, and it's all surrounded by mountains on all sides. And we are indeed lucky to have this time, such beautiful light, and all you wonderful people, some school children as well. Are you guys from school? Which one? All Saints. Okay. Thank you very much, Amitabh, and all the powers that be that I don't know the names of as yet, for inviting me and for getting Shunali. And I'm really invigorated and enthusiastic and delighted to talk to you. And to come back to the answer of your question, I wish I had a very formulated and a very well-crafted answer to it. I don't know how I ended up here. The only thing that I know is that my sports teacher used to say, why do you waste time doing all these theater things? You're meant for sport. You're meant for basketball. Yeah, I used to play basketball, and I used to think that I'll, in my life, be a basketball player those days. But he used to say, Mr. Leo Joseph, why do you waste your time? What do you do in the theater? And then, but I never gave it up. I always did theater in school and then later in college. And as we were discussing some time back, I did a play for your college, which is IP, Indraprasth College back in Delhi, long time back. And one thing and the other, and I never thought it is even possible remotely to become a film director in Bombay. I'd never been to Bombay. I didn't have anybody in Bombay. So it just, I think it was just a dream, which just goes on and on. And one thing after the other, I have only just done what I felt like doing in life, what I believed in and what I felt I couldn't do without. And I think God has been kind. People have been very friendly. The country has been very hospitable. I still don't believe that I'm a film director, honestly. But it's great.
Are you a writer then? Are you a writer first and director later?
I don't know, because the first time that I wrote, I used to write poetry when I was in school. And, but
love poetry?
Not love. Very deeply philosophical poetry. When I was young, I used to think I'm a big philosopher. But later on, I started writing because, you know, someday, after seeing me act in a few school plays, somebody said, it is Teachers' Day, somebody should make a skit for the teachers. And then I was called because I was the kid that does theater. So someone said to me, a teacher said to me, why don't you do something? So I got my friends together and told them, tu aisa kar le, tu aisa kar le. And I wrote down certain lines for them to speak. And that's how I became a writer, and I'm still doing exactly the same thing, telling the actors, tu aisa kar le, tu aisa kar le, and writing. So I think my writing came as a result of having to direct.
But, you know, I'd like to dial this back a bit to the part when you just came to Bombay. Now, Bombay में तो बहुत लोग अपने dreams और talents लेके आते हैं. And if you don't have an in, then there's always a little risk of either, what if I fail? Did you ever have that? कि अगर नहीं हुआ तो plan B क्या है?
Actually, plan A or B सिर्फ ये था कि I have to earn my money and survive in this city. And I would have at that point of time done anything that I got. And when I said some time back that God has been very kind, one of the ways that God has been kind in is in not allowing me to succeed in my ambition. I thought, all my planning in my head was that since it's not possible to do film and make a living, let me do advertising. मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ कि मैंने कैसी कैसी बेवकूफ़ाना हरकतें की हैं अपनी ज़िंदगी में. तो मैंने एडवर्टाइजिंग मार्केटिंग का कोर्स किया बॉम्बे जाने के बाद, बिकॉज आई थॉट आई गेट अ जॉब एज अ क्रिएटिव राइटर. आई न्यू आई वॉज अ गुड राइटर. But I didn't get a job. After doing this course in Xavier's for a year, I didn't get a job for another year. And ultimately, jhak maar ke, I took a job for 1,000 rupees per month, or 1,500 rupees per month actually, in ZTV as a production boy who had to basically take tapes in a bag from the studio to the office. And that's how I started. But I was already in the purview of television and cinema. Yeah. And then one thing led to the other. So the mistakes or the accidents of life really have led me over here.
This is very encouraging for all the kids here. Because, at this age...
Please don't follow anything that I've done in my life.
Your destiny will find you. Go have a good time. Bollywood always triumphs over literature. So, there we are.
Well, cinema is a part of literature. I have a thought for the Nainital Lit Fest and all you guys. And the thought is, when William Shakespeare was alive, when he was doing plays, did people think that's a part of literature? Perhaps not. They maybe thought this is theater, and this is entertainment, and this is maybe not deserving to be called literature. However, most of us, study him, and like he's supposed to be the first person of literature that anybody can think of. Yeah. Similarly, all storytelling and that crafts human behavior and that influences us to be in a certain way is a part of literature. So I feel that in retrospect, people might be thinking that cinema is also literature.
Certain cinema for sure. Without putting you in a spot on that one. So, your films, your stories that have spoken to so many people usually deal with the idea of identity, as she just said. There's rebellion as well against, a prescripted career or life given to you by your parents or society. There's always love in different forms. It's not just the conventional kind of love. There's also breaking free and freedom. But I think, more or less, we always find that at the essence, at the core of your film is this question that your characters who wander through life, and also quite literally wander through life, mountains, Gossika, highway, who are you, or where do you belong, okay? What is your essence as a human being? So I wonder if this is something that you arrive at quite as a matter of course through your storytelling, or this is the question you pursue while writing or planning your scripts, that who are you is the beginning, or at the end that it just emerges as a process of writing?
Well, I'm not sure about that. I don't have a plan to either reach who are you or culminate.
How do you belong?
Yeah, how do I... I'm not so clear about that. Usually a story in the head starts with just seeing something and imagining beyond it. For instance, one would see a girl in a train and imagine what it would be if one were to miss the train along with her in a small unmarked station, and what the adventure would be. And then somehow, as one writes the story, as I write the story, and as it goes ahead in my mind, it might discover the theme of identity, or the theme of who you are or who you're not, which in case of Jab We Met is not the reality, but let's say in the case of
Highway
Tamasha. It is, or Tamasha it is.
Rockstar also to an extent, though it's a little more disruptive than that.
Yep. So that's quite by accident, but I feel that if I were to look at the body of my cinema, I would think maybe there are certain themes that resonate with me, but I'm not consciously aware of it. And I seek it, I'm interested in it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And that is what, therefore, my cinema talks about.
Yeah.
And you know what happens is that what one talks about, like I meet you and I end up talking to you, and I might end up talking to you about a different
Yes.
subject and a different group of subjects than what my cinema is, because cinema is like also a conversation, but a deeper conversation and a more artistic, a little less cerebral and more inner conversation. So that might lead to something else, which might be something to do with identity or to do with boundaries. I feel this other theme of boundaries and trying to cross
Gen Z का
over.
favorite word है वो.
Boundaries? Acha.
We are constantly reminded by our kids to have boundaries. Huh.
Do you remind your kids to have boundaries as well? I see mostly that the kids are the ones that are intruding upon the into the freedom of parents.
So, okay, now you've written some extremely memorable characters, okay? There's Geet and there's Veera, there's Jordan. Who else am I forgetting? Of course, there's Amar Singh Chamkila, who, of course, is based on real life. Who is your favorite character out of all these characters that you have created?
I don't think I have a favorite. I feel that I would aspire to be somebody like Geet, because I was just talking to my daughter earlier thinking that Geet is somebody who is so uninhibited, and I wish that I was as uninhibited as her and just say anything that comes to my mind. However, I'm unable to do so, to express myself so freely and so non-judgmentally. So I aspire to be Geet, but maybe I'm like somebody else, and who I like Jordan because he's innocent, and I like Tara because she's very sorted. I like Veera because she's so imaginative, but yet so everyday, so common and relatable. So for different reasons.
Actually, when I watched Geet this time, I'm so much older now than when I first watched it. I was like, my God, how nice to be so free. There's a different kind of liberation about her, you know. Not at all conscious about what she says and does. And then I read that you were inspired by girls you had heard in Delhi buses. Just talk a little bit about that. I found it very entertaining.
Well, when I went to Delhi from Jamshedpur, I got to meet many people who are Punjabi, who are not only Punjabi, but who speak in a certain way. Like I used to meet a lot of girls that used to come from Jamna Par, as we used to call in Delhi. यहाँ दिल्ली के लोग हैं कुछ, या दिल्ली से वाकिफ लोग हैं, तो एक होता है ना जमुना पार, वहाँ की लड़कियाँ और लड़के भी एक तरह से बोलते हैं, तो बहुत धड़ल्ले से बोलते हैं वो. और so I have met a few girls who I didn't know while in a bus or something like that, who spoke so freely, and they used to roll out so fast that they were not even cognizant of what they were saying. So they would say certain very self-embarrassing things and certain very incriminating things, as though to give an impression, for instance, as a young girl, that they are deeply interested in me. And then the next sentence would be, अब मैं ऐसा बोल रही तो ये ना समझना कि मैं लाइन मार रही हूँ. So they would talk about anatomy, they would talk about chemistry and history and geography and biology and everything, and yet mean nothing. And I thought there is a great deal of liberation in them, and they are so unaware of the fact that they are being so stupid. And this is a miracle. And here I am, I'm always checking myself that am I being stupid? So Geet somewhere was born out of there.
But you know, she became like a cultural, she became an icon in that sense as a character, a cultural reference point. But speaking of Delhi, Imtiaz, Delhi figures in almost all your films one way or another, practically all your films. So is Delhi a muse to you or a catalyst?
I think Delhi is a catalyst because Delhi is a very uncomfortable city to live in.
Elaborate, बताइए क्यों?
क्या है कि जब मैं वहाँ था और तो मेरे पास पैसे ऑब्वियसली बहुत कम हुआ करते थे. I used to live in the hostel and it was very difficult to even get from one place to the other. You had to go to Central Secretariat in one bus. Before that, wait for a long time. Before that, walk for a long time to get to a bus
You were
stand.
not a girl, you would have hitchhiked otherwise. In our days, in DU, hitchhiking was a thing.
And that would entail its own dangers. But because Delhi is an uncomfortable city for guys, but it's a cruel city for women. And especially in our times, I think things are better now. And Delhi is perhaps a bit less rough on women now. I hope it is. But मेरे वक्त में तो बहुत बुरा हाल था. So it was uncomfortable because you had to change buses to get to the south of Delhi. And I used to go every day to Mandi House to rehearse for a play. Everybody was aggressive. Everybody was, तू जानता मैं कौन हूँ? तुझे पता नहीं है मैं कौन हूँ? आदमी उलझन में पड़ जाए कि अभी सीधा सीधा झगड़ा कर लेते हैं ना यार, ख़त्म कर लेते हैं. मार पिटाई कर दे, तू भी मार मैं भी मारता हूँ, फिर तुझे पता मैं कौन हूँ? मैं फलाना मंत्री को जानता हूँ. मुझे अपने जीके पर भी डाउट होने लगता था कि मैं तो जानता ही नहीं हूँ कि वो केंद्रीय मंत्री कौन से हैं. सो इस तरह की कंफ्यूजन, तो इस तरह की जगह थी दिल्ली. सो बट इट्स ऑल्सो सो इंटरेस्टिंग. In this discomfort, you would be riled up to take notice and be active. And I found myself doing so much theater because I had so much to say. Sometimes in reaction to people, sometimes if there was some aggression, I had to answer it through, let's say, a nukkad natak. And I was doing one thing after the other. And then later on, when I left Delhi, then in retrospect, it became a calmer city, a beautiful city. दूर से बहुत सारी चीज़ें सुंदर लगती हैं. So उसी तरह से दिल्ली में मुझे फिर नज़र आने लगा the fact that there is, the beautiful thing about Delhi is that you can get a picture postcard of it where the contemporary coexists with the past. There is the medieval, there is the older than medieval, then there is the modern, absolutely, and there are people also like that. People are very cultured in different ways. The language is very interesting. You travel, for 10 minutes in a bus, the language changes completely. शादरे की हिंदी अलग है, चांदनी चौक की हिंदी बिल्कुल ही अलग है, और फिर जब आप नॉर्थ कैंपस में जाते हैं तो वहाँ फिर कुछ और ही हो जाता है. So it's a very, very interesting place, and I feel that the lingo of my movies is almost completely derived from Delhi. So many of the movies that I've done, and hopefully will continue to do, are based in Delhi, therefore.
Actually, all the years that I lived in Delhi, some total of 4 years, when I left Delhi and I came to Bombay in the mid-90s, I felt really safe and liberated and free. And then I became an immediate fan of Bombay. And then for the longest time, I had this little snobbery about, Delhi to aisa hai. But over the last, I would say 8 to 10 years, I envy people who live in Delhi because Delhi has so many layers culturally, like you just mentioned, historically. They also have better roads than Bombay. Recently, where was it, Bombay? One woman came out of coma because her car went over a pothole. Okay, yeah, it was in the press. I think it was Bombay, but it could happen anywhere in India except Delhi where our tax money goes and, Delhi guys get good roads. But I understand that, and I think I'm practically a Bombayite now. I even enjoy that aspect of your film.
Or to give tax and have better roads for people in Delhi. Oh no, okay, aspects of my movie.
Of your movie, wo usme dastan koi bhi chal raha hai, wahan pe kuch chal raha hai, beech mein, theatre ka scene in Tamasha, he goes and does all of that. So that's really nice. And I have started romanticizing Delhi. As a writer anyway, Delhi had a bigger creative community. But, Sufism, which is also, I think, in some ways a part of Delhi, and it's a part of practically every film of yours. And you just mentioned that you are a philosopher. But you started...
I was a philosopher when I was young.
Yes.
Now I'm a movie maker.
But I think that part of you is still alive. Can you talk about just why Sufism bleeds into, your scripts, into your stories? And it's very wonderful and charming, and then the music that goes with that. But it's really elementary to your filmmaking, isn't it?
I think it came because of A.R. Rahman. And I wasn't really aware of Sufism, and for most things, and maybe I still am not, but I found myself quoting a lot from, let's say, Rumi while making Rockstar, and after. And even before, I was always interested in mystical poetry, and I would write that in, and I feel that the Sufi thought is present in all kinds of literature, not only in Persian literature, etc. So that was very appealing to me, and it found itself in my movies. And then I think after meeting Rahman sir and after making the music of Rockstar, more and more people started to talk to me about Sufism. When people think, like, Rumi has this quote, Rumi has this line that, appear as you are or become what you look. I think I had to become what I looked in terms of Sufism.
Now, of course, Facebook has made Rumi very accessible. People who have never opened a book, and it's a good thing, they can quote Rumi and Tabriz and all that. But Sufism has an abiding appeal, and I feel that because it's so present in your film, it makes your movies a little timeless in that sense. Like you can watch it at a different stage in your life and draw something else from it,
And here is what I have to say. I feel that the presence of, let's say, songs in Indian movies, and I was talking somewhere else and I realized that Indian people are only satisfied by some entertainment if it has some philosophical depth. Indian people will never be happy if there is no philosophical depth in it. Western people might be very happy in a war film which has no philosophical depth, for instance. So I feel the philosophical depth can come into Indian cinema through poetry, through songs, because songs can have poetry and lyrics. And I am in that way very Indian. I also like a generous dose of something which is larger than just the commonplace conversation of every day. And therefore, in my movies, there is that.
But there's also a lot of transition. There's a lot of movement in your film. No? There's your characters are always in transit. So why do you think that inner transformation needs physical movement?
Well, this is actually something that I have seen in my life. I thought that just being out of your home and hearth, you could believe that you are somebody else. Because when you are in a certain situation where everybody knows you, then you have to kind of pretend to be that person that everybody knows. And that everybody plays that game. I'm sure that any one of you going home and knowing that home looks at you, your parents or your children look at you in a certain way, you become that person subconsciously. If you go to some other place, to your office, you're a different person. And in a place where nobody knows you, therefore, you have the choice of being anybody. And that is very liberating because you have the choice of being somebody that you have not had the experience of.
Like a blank slate.
Like a blank slate. And then while traveling, even from college back to Jamshedpur and so on and so forth, I used to always introduce myself as somebody else. I'd never give my real name in order just for the happiness of being somebody else.
Like in Tamasha. That's
like in Tamasha, yes.
Yeah.
So
So
those
that
things,
came from your own life.
Yeah, that comes.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the set of experiences that you have on that journey is completely different. So I feel that when you are in a journey, your mind works differently because you don't have to be the same old person that you are at home.
That's a valid point. Kids, are you taking notes? So, Hindi cinema has traditionally sold the fantasy that love completes us. But then in your films, love often disrupts, unsettles, sometimes even destroys. So, are you trying to make anti-romantic films?
I think without some sort of destruction, no progress is possible. And destruction always means that something that was formed breaks. Destruction also means that there is the need of creation. So I feel, I don't know in what movie of mine there has been destruction, but I hope that there is. And yeah, progress can only be made when there is a wound.
The light, what is that movie's quote?
The light enters the
Wound is-
body
yeah.
where the
wound
wound
is where
is.
the light enters the body. So when Love Aajkal released in 2009, you know, we had this idea that love evolves with time. But now, so many years later, it's been 17 years? 17, 18 years okay, na? Since Love Aajkal? 2007. 2007, okay. You know, with dating apps and algorithmic-driven matchmaking, do you think that this whole idea of love for an entire generation, which I know you have a daughter that age and there are children that age here, do you think that the whole idea and notion of love as we knew and understood and as you have shown in your cinema has changed? And if you were to make a contemporary kind of a story, would that have all these elements of modern contemporary love, which also may include love with an AI character? I recently read about, BBC recently had this. They spoke to a guy, they interviewed a person who's been married, he has 2 grown daughters, but he's created an AI girlfriend called Iva, and he said that he has never felt happier, and he's begun to care for her like he doesn't care for any other human being in his life. And this is like a really grown man. So all of these possibilities exist in the stratosphere.
Yeah, all possibilities do exist, and I feel that things have always changed down the century. But the basis of somebody trying to discover themselves in relationship with another person, or you know, the paraphernalia changes. And this gentleman about falling in love or caring for the AI character is a really different and an intriguing thought. But more or less, I've seen that over the years, over the decades and centuries, the paraphernalia of what's called a love relationship keeps changing, but the basis of the need for people to love and care for or be cared for remains the same. So I think...
With so many more options now, you know, when people are actually swiping right with one person, there's always...
I feel it's much more tough now.
That's what I'm saying. Because there's so many options, it's tough, and you never give yourself to anything. So, I mean, my question is that would you think of, or are you thinking of making a film that deals with this kind of an emotional landscape?
Actually, yes. I have been intrigued with this thing, and I don't want to approach the topic straight on like that, because it would be then more like a study. Like, let's assume that there is a character who's been dating so often because it is so easy to meet the gender that they are interested in and date and date and date. But there is nothing of value that this person is accessing. And then what this person has to do and what difficulties this person has to go through to get something which was so right there round the corner for them. So something like that would be a good story, but I don't want to really approach it like that. I would rather have characters like this in my other stories to kind of throw light on this situation.
So, you know, I was sitting and watching Cocktail with my daughter, and we were having the best laughs. It's got some brilliant scenes in it. But she's now 18, and she said, "Mama, but this is so sexist." Because 2 girls are sort of competing over a man, which also happens because, I mean, cinema does mirror real life. And then the good girl is the character that the man falls for. So have you had, say, your daughter watch that movie now in recent time after growing up, or children from their generation, and have they been, because now this generation is really aware, you know, about everything, about ideas of equality and about ideas of agency. So have you had any...
No, I know exactly what you mean, but I can't take responsibility for a movie that I have not directed.
I'm talking about the story.
No, sure, yeah. But what came through, unfortunately, in that is that this girl, Meera, being the more desi Indian, achhi ladki, is
Good
the
girl.
one that bags the guy. That was not supposed to be the case. And of course, I mean, it's not as though I was not a part of the movie. I am a part of the movie. It is my story, my title. But that was unfortunate. I mean, I'd be happy if that didn't happen. It would, if what should have happened is that the story was that, you know, there are these types of girls. So Meera was just not the Gautam type. She was the last person that Gautam would go for. And Veronica was exactly the type of person Gautam would go for. But you change your type.
That does happen.
Yeah, so I guess it got misrepresented. So apologies
But
to
it
your
did really
daughter.
well, so it's fine. And
No,
people enjoyed the
Doing
story back
well
then.
is not the only
It may
thing
not
one is
age
after.
well, but it did really well. So it is what it is. But, you know, that brings me to a fairly serious question, and it's often something that people talk about, that does cinema have any responsibility other than entertainment towards its audience and society?
Well, I think irresponsible or amoralistic cinema does not thrive. I feel that even a film like Sholay that is so popular, one goes and sees it. Now, if anybody wants to do this study, go back and look at the most popular cinema in India. Sholay is not a reverent film. Yeah, it's quite, the characters are very irreverent. They are burglars, right? However, you see the morality and the ethics in that film. You see how the village gets together. You see what happens when the old man's son dies. You see, the ethic of it is so holistic and so moralistic and so desi, so Indian, that you root for it. So I feel that cinema has a lot of responsibility, but it depends upon the filmmaker, how much they want to take on. And there are different things that appeal to people. Like, I don't have anybody smoking in my films. It's a very casual thing, but I feel that kids generally start smoking looking at cinema.
It's true.
Because that's what I
Despite
did.
the warning, it's injurious to your health. But
Sure,
that's
I mean,
what your heroes
that
are doing.
warning
Yeah.
is more enticing for a young person. You tell them something not to do, they will do it. So, the sense of responsibility is different, but I feel that good cinema or popular cinema will find it difficult to exist without ethics and morality. A larger responsibility, a larger function, yes. I feel that a huge function of cinema in India has been to establish a code of ethics for young people. And I have said this before, and I'd say it again, that the what to do and what not to do, the rule of ethic, code of conduct, for me as a young boy, was not the Constitution of India or the Indian Penal Code or religious studies, etc. It was not even what parents were saying. It was what I was seeing in cinema. That I wanted to be like the good guy. I didn't want to be like the bad guy. I wanted to treat women in the way that the good people were treated, and something that felt so warm to you. So I do know that somebody watching my cinema might have a similar feeling of belief towards it. So I don't want to F around there. And I want to have a positive ethic for people that watch it.
Which is why, there's a certain trend of movies which have done well recently, and I won't put you on a spot on that. But as a parent and as a member of society, it's very disturbing to see that people are going and consuming this kind of content and certainly returning with some ideas about it, because young minds are so impressionable. But I think the kids at the back may want some fun questions, and we'll come to that in a moment. Would you like to talk about Amar Singh Chamkila and how you decided to veer into previously uncharted territory with a film like that? How did you decide that you wanted to canvas this extremely controversial but passionately loved figure? He was very divisive as a singer. And I have to confess, I really enjoyed watching the film. And then I realized, even though I'm Punjabi, it was very Tate Punjabi. And it might have been a challenge for you to, how did you cross the language barrier there?
No, thankfully, I have people in the team that can help me there, because of course, Chamkila, Amar Singh Chamkila sang in the 80s, and Punjabi.
Anybody's watched the film here, Amar Singh Chamkila? Did you all know who he was before you watched the film?
So I think it was a very typical case in point, and he also represented the so-called, the infamous 27 Club, you know, people like Jimi Hendrix and Kurt Cobain and Jim Morrison.
Yeah. And
Many
Amy Winehouse and all of
Amy
that, yeah.
Winehouse and many others that actually tragically lost their lives at the age of 27. And
He
whether
was only 27?
he was 27.
Oh my God.
Whether 27 or not, the important thing also is that very young and very, very popular and didn't live very long. And also the fact that somebody who is definitely not a very moralistic character, he's definitely not brave, but is so much in love with music and performance that he just couldn't stop singing, even though he knew that he would be killed for it. And he went on, and he got his wife killed and himself killed.
But the casting was fantastic.
Yeah, it
I don't
couldn't
think
have
other
been-
than Diljit, anyone could have.
Nobody else. Nobody except for Diljit could have done it, and nobody except for Pariniti could have done Amarjot Kaur. So I was very happy, and I feel also very blessed and lucky to have made Chamkila, because lots of people honestly have tried to make that film but were not able to, because there was Chamkila having lived that life after his passing away created a difficulty for filmmakers, because who would you take the rights from? He has two families, two sets of children. So you have to get both of them on the same page, and that was very, very difficult.
How did you do that?
I didn't do it. There was this guy called Harpreet, who is from Nabha, and he just was such a big fan of Chamkila that he thought a film should be made. So he went to one side and put out them, and he went to the other side and put out them, and then somehow managed to get the NOC or the rights from both of them. And then he's standing on the street of Ludhiana after getting the rights, thought, ये तो पंजाबी फिल्म नहीं बननी चाहिए, ये ना national film बननी चाहिए, तो हिंदी में बननी चाहिए. He doesn't know me, but he thought, किसको approach करूं बनाने के लिए? So he thought he should approach me. And later I said to him, I asked him that, why did you think of me? And actually not me, once in shooting, Diljit asked him that, आपने इम्तियाज़ बाजी को क्यों बोला? So he said, मुझे लगा कि ये पंजाब ठीक ठाक ही दिखा देते हैं पिक्चरों में. And दूसरी बात क्या है कि म्यूजिक अच्छा ये हैंडल करते हैं, मैंने रॉकस्टार देखी है इनकी. So he chose me. He's nobody. But you see, the person who is standing on the street and is nobody often does a greater service and a greater benefit to you than somebody who is mega powerful and who you think, यार ये एक बार इससे मुलाकात हो जाएगी तो मेरी जिंदगी बन जाएगी. तो हरप्रीत ने डिसाइड किया कि मेरे पास, उसको 6 महीने लगे, उसको पता नहीं शायद साल लगा मेरे तक पहुंचने में. But he made the journey. And even then I thought, how can I had heard of Chamkila by then. Because going to Punjab, everybody said, भाई तुसी चमकीला पे फिल्म बनाओ. And क्यों? अरे नहीं, वो उन्होंने जो सक्सेस देखी है ना, किसी ने नहीं देखी. उनकी ज़िंदगी बड़ी डायनामिक थी, पता है ऐसे हुआ वैसे हुआ. And then, but then I thought, I don't know whether I'm the person to make it. Why should I make it? Like, do I know anything about that world or that life? Then during COVID, I visited Punjab, and luckily in Punjab, nobody believed that there is anything called COVID. So I went to this small place called Chudal Kala, which is close to Sangrur. वहाँ खेतों के बीच वो बाबे बैठे हैं, तो उनसे हम पूछा, पाजी आप लोग ऐसे बैठे हो, आपको डर नहीं है आपको कोविड हो जाएगा? ओ जी, कोविड नाम की कोई चीज़ नहीं है, ये बस एक वहम की बीमारी है. So वहाँ पे घूमते फिरते, then I got a sense of what rural Punjab is for the first time. I'd been to Punjab many times, but जो जिसको मालवा कहते हैं ना, जो मालवा is an area in Punjab, तो उसका जो एक देसी, बहुत लंबा आंसर कर रहा हूँ मैं, but that's how I got introduced into the world of Chamkila, and that's how I decided to make Chamkila.
Yeah, but it sounds like you really enjoyed the process, the newness of.
Oh yeah, it was very different because it was very kind of a mitti ki khushbu wala subject, you know. And many of my characters have been rich people from big cities, yeah, or even like middle class people from middle cities. But this guy was absolutely impoverished, disadvantaged, in every way uneducated character from a very, very small mud hut. And so I really made that journey, and I really felt connected and earthed in Chamkila.
Okay, so now we'll do a quick rapid fire because we just have a few minutes left, unfortunately. So, okay, one actor who completely surprised you on set.
Vedang Rena.
Oh, yeah, he's quite popular with the girls, isn't he?
Well, I hope he is.
A character you secretly wish you had written differently.
Harinder Singh Nehra, which is the character of Shah Rukh Khan in Jab Harry Met Sejal.
Who would you have cast as Geet if Kareena's dates weren't available?
Well, I have no answer for that.
You
I
only
don't
had
have-
Kareena in mind when you wrote it?
Now, after working with her and after making Jab We Met, I can't think of any other option. Before making this film, maybe I could have thought of another
And she
option.
nearly didn't want to do it at first,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, she refused the first time. And then later on, and the film never got made at that time anyway, so much later on it happened.
One Bollywood love story you wish you had directed.
Love story, I don't know. Maybe
any
Qayamat se Qayamat tak.
Oh.
But no, I don't wish I would have directed it. I was just happier being the audience for it.
Okay. A film of yours that became very different from what you'd imagined.
I can't really say any because, you know, the imagination changes. I added on to it, but it didn't. There's no answer for that.
Your favorite film location?
It's the mountains, the
Yeah,
Himalayas.
it's very evident. It's Spiti Valley and yeah.
And now I'm getting more and more fond of this side of the Himalayas because it's not.
Yeah, he's coming. He was in Ramgarh.
Yeah, I was in Ramgarh,
Yeah,
close
drove down
by.
from Ramgarh, yeah.
And so beautiful, so different from Himachal and Kashmir. And also I like the Hindi speaking, the Hindi Bhashi aspect of it somehow because that's my mother tongue. And it's good to be hearing people speaking in Hindi, Urdu. And also I really admire the fact that in the streets of Nainital and wherever else I've been in this area, and I've come here before, but long time back. When I come back here, I see people are very literate. They're quite educated. And they're very going to school, like those kids over there.
Yeah.
And erudite and knowledgeable. And so long live. And I hope to do a lot of work here also.
All right, then. This has been a fantastic conversation, and I think we can open it up to the audience. Do we have 5 minutes? We do. Okay. All right. We should start with, okay, that lovely lady at the back. Blowing kisses at, is it at me or at Imtiaz? I don't know.
Okay. Hi, Mr. Imtiaz. Thank you so much for validating Delhiites over so many years. I'm from Delhi. So we've always been seen as violent people, and you've seen us as lovers. So we love that. My question to you is, in a lot of your movies, you have a 4-year gap between all these lovers. Other than maybe a couple of them, you always have that. So why
4
do you
years?
think that is?
How do you mean that?
There's Tamasha, for sure, where there's 4 years. Then there's a couple more where we see these couples like just distancing for a while, and then they come back together, other than Jab We Met.
Oh, so you're saying that they distance for 4 years and then they come back?
Yes.
Is it? I don't know. I've not noticed it.
So
But it could
that's-
be. It could
yeah.
be. But
There's always a gap, right? They separate for a while, for some years. In Jab We Met, it was 9 months, and then in all of these movies, there was a gap. So why is that intentional? And if there's a reason behind that?
He just found out about it.
I see that. Well,
I'm not aware of it. Maybe it's because it gives the chance for the heart to grow fonder.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's such a good
beautiful
answer.
thought. Thank you.
Okay, this gentleman here at the front. A mic here, please.
Hi, Imtiaz sir. First of all, I would like to welcome you to Nainital. And thank you for your contribution to cinema, and the way you show mountains in your movies is just magical. So my question is that mostly the male protagonists in your movies, they have these inner demons that they're fighting, along with their fight with love. And while they realize it, the female characters also somehow, like an insanity is sparked within the female characters as well. So like, if I talk about Tamasha, while Tara is trying to understand Ved's problem, and she's trying to, be there for him, but she's also struggling to make the relationship work. And it's like in every movie which I've seen, starting from Socha Na Tha, Abhay Deol has this indecisive nature. So my question is in two parts, if you permit me. So first of all, when the male characters are dealing with their demons, so when you're working with these actors who play these characters, and when you're making them work, is there a method which you apply for them to get intense or get serious about the characters? Because I know I can understand that it might be difficult for the characters to understand the depth of the issues which the characters are playing, for the actors to understand the depth of the characters.
So let me answer that first before I forget. It's not been that tough, honestly. I feel that the actors that I've worked with, let's say the male actors, Abhay and Ranbir and Shahid and Shah Rukh, and they've been pretty smart about it. And many of them have confessed that they themselves are going through or have gone through certain dilemma that the character is supposed to talk about. So it hasn't been so tough, but you have to separate what is their care and concern or their conflicts and the conflict of the character. To say that we are not looking for your personal angst also, although your personal experience in life or your inner storms will make the inner storms of the character more accessible to you. You can relate to them because a person who knows, let's say, unfortunately, trauma, can associate or relate to somebody else's trauma. Similarly, somebody who's had an inner journey can understand the inner journey of the character.
Okay, next question. There's a lady to the extreme right. Yes, ma'am, you. Here, second row. Yeah. Just, you know what now? Just everyone just ask your question because they're flagging the placard at me from there. So just, I will thank him again on your behalf at the end. Just your question.
Nobody
please.
from the left-hand side is asking questions for some reason.
Sorry, okay,
they don't
yes,
care
after
for
this,
us.
after this, yes.
Jab we met in just a few nights. So is it because speed helps you remain honest to real emotions than a long drawn process?
It's a very good question. No, it's not for that. I think I wrote Jab We Met very fast because I was working in the day, I think. So I was writing at night and it just happened very fast. There are many films that I've written very fast. But after writing the first draft of that, I also have rewritten upon them a lot. In some films a bit more, in some films a bit less, but it is not distinguishable that much. For instance, I think Rockstar I've written a lot. Jab We Met I've written very little. Chamkila I've written average. So कह नहीं सकते उसका क्या result होता है. I think the nature of a story is different in each time. Jab We Met was a film that you shouldn't have written too much. Yeah. However, Rockstar was a film, or let's say Tamasha was a film that you had to write too much. Tamasha I should have written even more.
Okay, now right side ka wari is finished. Left side. Okay, you sir at the back. And then we'll come to you after this. Anyway, so yes, orange turban, that's, yeah.
Hello. Yes, hi Imtiaz. So you mentioned that you shot Amar Singh Chamkila in the interiors of Punjab, the Malwa region, the Pind. So I have a request rather than a question. Can I hear you speak a phrase or a sentence in Punjabi?
Don't embarrass me like that, यार.
वो off stage कर लेंगे.
मुझे
Two words.
conscious कर देना है. अभी तूने you said two words, the ones that first are coming to my mind are not good words.
Because even Shunali mentioned that, she comes from the Punjabi family, but you had Thet Punjabi in your movie.
Yeah.
Please.
नहीं यार,
बाद में करते हैं।
embarrass मत करो and
नहीं नहीं, he's our guest. We can't make him. Yes, sir. You.
एक्चुअली क्या है ना कि मैं चमकीला का डायरेक्टर हूँ ना, तो मैं अपने आप पे ना मुझे भरोसा नहीं है। मतलब वही होता
आपको भी
है।
डायरेक्टर चाहिए।
नहीं, मुझे डायरेक्टर नहीं चाहिए। छूटते ही हो सकता है मैं खेल ना जवानी दी या खेल बाप बेया टाइप का कुछ बोल दूं।
You done it. You done it now. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. फ्रंट रो का माइक चाहिए।
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
You just said that the Indian audience like to have some philosophy in a movie. Only then they enjoy it. And the Western audience are happy with just a war movie also. So can we expect a war movie from you which
yes.
has some philosophy in it?
Sir, I hope so. Very soon. Very, very soon. I'm working on something. I hope it comes through very soon.
Thank you. Thank you.
But it's not without philosophy. When I say a war movie, I'm sorry I used that as an example. There's a lot of philosophy in the way wars are fought and in the way the army or any armed force conducts itself. I used it as an example, to say loosely. But hopefully a war film or a film about the armed forces, but with a great deal of philosophy, actually. Thank you.
Okay, one last question that only a student can ask. Okay, yes, I see your hand right at the back there. Student is here. Acha, sorry, yes. Wapis right side pe. Okay.
Good evening, sir. I have a really short question for you. What is the most challenging part of the creating process, like implementing films? What is the most challenging part of it?
Publicity. Because it entails answering the same question again and again for 20 times till you feel your soul is leaving your body. My friend Preetham Chakravarti, in the publicity of Love Ajkal in Calcutta, fainted. He fell off the chair on the ground. And then when I went and asked him that kya hua, he said, "Sir, same question. बार-बार मेरे से पूछ रहे हैं, बार-बार मुझे पूछ रहे हैं, तो मैं तो फेंट ही कर गया। ये चाइनीज लोग ऐसे ही टॉर्चर करते होंगे."
Amitabh, do we have to wind up now? Because there are too many hands going up, but the quiz master's decision is final. Okay,
Yeah, I'm
ठीक है,
fine.
of course. Let's have some more questions.
As long as the weather is also open.
Other than other student, yes, yes.
Good evening, sir. This is Jannat Lake from All Saints College. And sir, if I were to talk about the transformation under which Geet went through, I mean, she was such a jolly and enthusiastic person, and then such a serious and heartbroken girl she turned into. So I would want to know, was it easy to portray her as a matured girl in the second half of the movie?
One thing we did is that we used no makeup on her face. That in itself transformed her. Seriously, there are some scenes where he discovers her back in Shimla, where Aditya goes back and he sees that she's there. Those scenes she has had zero makeup, no under eyes, even like
Reality of life.
The reality of life. Anyhow, that was not the 100% answer. No, it was not very tough, actually. She's a very director's actor. You explain to her, she gets it, she does it. It was very easy working with her. I never had any difficulty. She got the emotion very easily.
On your part, describing her.
Now it's your one question.
No. I get your part. No, in my part also it wasn't, because before actually making it, I was myself so heartbroken that she's going through, that Geet in my mind is going through such a tough time.
Okay. Yes, that lady with the maroon.
And
yes, yes,
I remember I used to tell Geet that you're just sitting in the room and staring at the wall. And I used to feel so bad. And so that used to transmit to her. And then she used to be just sitting and staring at the wall and we are taking a shot. So that used to break the heart of everybody in the unit.
So do you ever tear up while directing?
Tear up.
Or feel really, really overwhelmed?
Overwhelmed when, let's say, things are not going right and people... No, I don't think so. I've got a very unusual relationship with all of that.
Yes, there was another question somewhere.
May I?
Yes, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, sir. This is Nilofer from Degree College. I teach English there. And I really appreciate the kind of cinema that you make. I think that this discussion that is going on since, I think, more than half an hour,
Is all bullshit?
it cannot be complete without the mention of Laila Majnu.
Laila Majnu.
Yeah, of course, that's my favorite. I just wanted to, give it an honorary mention. And I also want to wish to ask you a question on that. As the girls love Geet, what about Majnu? Is Majnu an extension of Geet? The kind of abandon and freedom, the sense of, liberated, kind of life that they both want to lead beyond the limited self. And what about I have personally observed that Majnu is shown in all the characters, especially the male characters like Rockstar or from, lesser, minor or major characters who are
That's a
really
very
in love.
smart observation, Nilofer,
Yeah,
I must say.
I think there is a streak of Majnu in all the characters that I think you are obsessed with Majnu. And because of your obsession, I have also bought Nizami's Laila Majnu. Recently, I'm watching it. And I'm all
What
the
have you
more...
got? Sorry, you recently what?
I bought Nizami's Laila Majnu. I was watching one of your interviews and I got fascinated by the way you were obsessively talking of the kind of Sufi love that is portrayed by the Persian poet, writer, and how minutely and how meticulously you have gone. I mean, that is not your movie, you have written it largely, but it is directed by Sajid, your brother. How minutely every aspect of that Persian tale you have captured, I am in awe with that. So hats off to you for that, for creating Laila Majnu for
Thank
all
you
of
very
us.
much. Thank you very much.
And yeah, round of applause for Laila Majnu. And for all people that like Laila Majnu, the same team is now making Heer Ranja. So hopefully all of you will like that as well. And but I don't know the exact source of Laila Majnu. Nobody really knows the exact source of Laila Majnu. And chances are that it is not Persian. Chances are that it can even be Arabic. There is an Arabic version. So we don't know where it started, but a lot of people have written about it. Like if I have made Laila Majnu now, the story doesn't belong to me. So I don't know where it draws from.
Okay, no, I'm so sorry to be rude because these guys are giving me really dirty looks from both sides.
So thank you, and thank you for mentioning Laila Majnu.
Thank you. You've been a fantastic audience. I wish we had some more time because he's been a fantastic guest.
I have a short question. I have a really
Ask
short
Amitabh, sir. Then he will whisper it in Imtiaz's ear.
Last question.
Acha, last. Chalo.
All right. I'm a big fan of filmmaking. So I just wanted to ask, do you cross-reference ideas for your film from yourself? Like suppose, if I were in the actor's place, would I do this?
Yeah. Or
And
if
can
I
you
were in an
elaborate more
actor's
on it?
place, what help could I use at this point? That I do.
All right.
Yeah, so then that's what I tell the actor. But go on.
Can you elaborate a little more on it?
Okay. For instance, sometimes I feel that I have acted in theater. Okay. Sometimes I feel that when I used to ask my director questions about, I'm having difficulty in this, so what can I do? The director would go ahead and tell me the whole story of the whole play, which wouldn't help me. I would just be nodding, and after some 10 minutes, I'd say, okay, sir, got it. But I hadn't got anything, and my performance would be the same, right? So sometimes I think that what could the director have told me if he had said, "Tum ek kaam karna, you just enter the stage and you sit down, take a sip of the tea, put it down, look at the audience, and then start your lines." It might have helped me. Sometimes something practical like that. So then I try to tell my actor something practical like that when I feel that he knows everything or she knows everything about the funda of the scene, but needs somehow to break out. Sometimes when you're acting, you feel there's a wall in front of you, and you are unable to break it. You feel that you're not being able to express or be yourself. So sometimes you just need a blow to break it. And that could be even irrational. So that is something that I know from experience. So I apply it from my experience.
Okay, this is a kid from Sherwood. Very, very bright kids here, all of them.
Yeah, one of you made it to be Amitabh Bachchan, yaar.
And they reminded me the next one was Sam Manekshaw. So they've had quite a few stellar...
Yeah. But, so, thank you very, very much. All you elegant. People in the hills are so beautiful looking that it's always a pleasure to come here anyway. But thank you very much. It has been a wonderful time. Thanks to you, Shunali and Amitabh. And I hope you've had a great, great festival, and it's going to carry on for another day.
This is the final
Oh, this
act.
is the final round.
The pièce de résistance is here.
Thank you very, very much, and have a great evening.
Thank you so much, sir, for taking us to this beautiful world of storytelling on screen. You have given us characters which we love, we laugh, we cry with, and also resonate with. But before you leave, I would like to call upon Mr. Amitabh Baghel. Please come and give a token of appreciation to sir as well as Shunali ma'am. Can we have a huge round of applause, please?
मंच से बोलने का मेरा हक तो है नहीं, but we are getting a lot of requests for photographs. So I will accommodate with Imtiaz's due permission 3 requests. One with our team of Nainital Literature Festival, one with the All Saints girls, and one with the Sherwood boys. One by one. So we now have the stall owners and one last photograph with the team. All the people, please come. Sanjay the ball baker, I can't see you. Okay. Mascotia. इम्तियाज़, people are getting demanding. तो एक गालिब का शेर है कि मैंने माना कि कुछ नहीं गालिब, मुफ्त हाथ आए तो बुरा क्या है. तो जो हमारी फोटोग्राफी की टीम है वो भी आपके साथ एक तस्वीर, जल्दी से आ जाइए आप लोग. Of Nainital Literature Festival. And can we have a big round of applause for the team?
Cheers for NLF team!
We had a beautiful first edition. We did not know what to expect when we sort of spoke about it, and Amitabh conceptualized the Nainital Lit Fest. This year, I think it's grown. It's become even more beautiful, including the beautiful colors that we got into the tent. And I think it's been really festive, and we would never have been able to have such a beautiful festival without the people of Nainital being here to support us and enjoy everything that we curated for you. So thank you so much for that. And I'd just like to say a word of gratitude to Nainital, of course, and to Kansya Resort for giving us this beautiful space to host our festival. As you people know, we had mentioned at the beginning that a literature festival which is really to bring the community together, to help the community unite over commonalities, things that you like, such as literature, the arts, and culture. And I think we've been able to modestly kind of achieve some level of unity here. Aim to build a community around literature, books, culture, has been initiated, and I hope that from year to year we'll get even better with this. I wish them all success, and we could never have done it without their vision. And I like that this festival got us both local as well as global abilities together. And when it all came together in appreciation and encouragement, it inspires and motivates us to do even better next time. Curating a festival that was ticket-free and inclusive, where there is place for everyone, was Amitabh's philosophy behind this festival. And I think it's a wonderful, wonderful moment to cherish, that we've been able to do that and we've been able to survive. So that's also been a vision that has actually transformed into action. We've had many languages, many genres. We've had movies in a big way. And oh my God, I see that Nainital is also crazy about Bollywood like the rest of the world is. And we've had Hindi, Urdu, English, literature, fiction, non-fiction, movies, performing arts, poetry, you name it. Every author has said that they've never been to a literature festival in the past where they've been able to sell so many copies of their books. So this is, I think, again, really wonderful. Kudos to Amitabh again for this. I think it's now time to thank Professor Pushpesh Pant, our mentor. I think he brings a lot of gravitas, a lot of value to our festival. He's not here at the moment, but we thank him immensely for all his guidance. Of course, Amitabh and Payaswini and Lekhani Foundation, without which Nainital Literature Festival would not have been possible. I'd like to thank, in absentia again, a very valuable festival advisor, Anshu Khanna, who's not here with us today, but she's been working behind the scenes and has constantly been in touch with us over what's happening here. I'd like to thank Swati Digvijay Bora for beautifully coordinating our festival. She's there at the back. A big hand for her, please. I know it's evening, and I know we're all tired. I think every drop of adrenaline has run out even from my body. But I would still hope and pray that all of you give a big round of applause to the people that I will be mentioning now. Okay? Okay. So I'd like to thank our committee members, Alok Shah and Deepak Balani, who have been an immense support in every way possible. And it's thanks to them that we've had a successful festival. Our sincere thanks to our generous sponsors and partners. Their support ensures that conversations around literature, culture, and ideas continue to flourish. I'd just like to quickly mention them, though by now, I'm sure we can have a quiz and you guys will have the names. However, Premier partner is Premier Energies. Then we have Hospitality and Venue Partners, the Kansya Resort, which is Ashwin Chaudhry's. Creative Partners, Varadi Foundation. Somebody asked me what the foundation does. So we empower children in government schools through education so that they can make a positive change to themselves and the communities. Our podcast partners, BFC, digital media partners, The Print, hospitality partners, Sherwani Hilltop, the Naini Retreat, Ashdale Hotel, Sakles Cottages, The Hive, Swiss Cottage, The Pavilion, IR Jungle Resort. Oh my God. Nainital is absolutely amazing. I can't believe it. The whole city is literally involved in some way or the other. in making this festival possible. It's so heartwarming, actually, for an outsider like me to see this happen. I thought it'll happen once, which was edition 1, but it's only thanks to all of you that we've had a wonderful second edition. I'd like to thank everyone who's put up stalls for us here, which has again created such a lovely ambience here for us. The food stalls, Sherwani Hilltop, Kansia Resort for the Italian, Muscotia Farms, Baini, Ikdeep's Farm, the Front Yard Cafe, the Bald Baker, and if I've missed out anybody else, I'm so sorry, and all the other stalls that have set up here to give you a feel of the local. Last but not definitely the least, I'd like to invite all our volunteers, Team Nainital Literature Festival, on stage, actually in front of the stage here, because we don't have space on the stage. If all of you are here, please can you come in front and give us a chance to applaud all your efforts. We could not have done any of what we did without our volunteer support. This is a small format festival. We do not have huge corporate support for funds, and we could not have done anything without the help of our volunteers. I'd like to call here Karishma Sanwal, our hosts, Harnaman Singh, Devyani Singh, Prableen Kaur, and Gunjita Pant. These lovely people have been instrumental in connecting all our sessions beautifully and giving us a feel of what's going to come. Thank you so much, all of you. We do have certificates which we will hand over to you later, but please stay right here. May I have the team of volunteers, Apala Naithani, Dhananjay Pathak, Divya Bora, Geeta Oli, Gunjita Pant, Neeraj Bisht, Nishchay Rotela, Prakriti Singh, Ritika Negi, Rohit Singh Bhakuni, Soumya Pathak, Shrishti Goswami, Vivek Khulia, Geetanjali, Vibha, Anita, Abhyuday Baghel, and Kripa. I think our youngest volunteer by far is Abhyuday Baghel, and he's probably had a hand and a leg in everything that has happened around here. Okay, now ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for all these wonderful people here, please. Immense gratitude to each one of you for being ever so patient, and I know people have been cranky, and we've had our ups and downs with emotions, but thank you so much for being here solidly and always and helping us out. We still have this evening to get through, but thank you so much. Is Amitabh here? Okay, Amitabh and Pashu, can you all take a picture? Swati, can you come on in front here, please?
Not that I want to have the last word, but it often happens that the one who's giving the closing or vote of thanks is not thanked enough. So Aparna Kanda has been a very, very, very strong force behind Nainital Literature Festival. And please, this festival would not have happened without the support of all the people who have been named over here.